We are still continuing with West African Senior School Certificate Examination 2020 Mathematics questions, and we are now at objective numbers 19, and we shall be doing 19 and 20 for our today's lesson. I want to officially welcome you to this maths lesson, and this lesson is given to you by Math Fusions. This is a channel where we make maths easy for you to learn. My name is Justice Johnson from Lagos, Nigeria. Now, let us dive into the lesson quickly. Here, as you can see, look at question 19 here. Okay, this is a question of algebraic fractions. And I want to encourage you after this lesson to go and get more knowledge from the playlist in my channel titled Algebraic Fractions. There are so many knowledge you are going to derive from that playlist lesson. Now let us solve this problem. If you observe the denominators 2, 9, and 18, we need to get the LCM. And here is how we get the LCM. The LCM of what? Of 2, 9, and 18. We can use 2 to divide 2 to give us 9 here and 9 here. Then 3 can come in to divide here 1, here 3, and here 3. Then 3 can also come in to give us 1, 1, and 1. So if you multiply 2 by 3 times by 3, then we are still going to have what? 18. In other words, we come to what we have here, then we put our equals to, and we rule our line. Then we put the LCM 18 here. Don't forget, this 18 is as a result of what you have here. 2 times 3, 6. 6 times 3 is what? 18. Now we've gotten this. We are going to divide the LCM 18 by 2. And if you divide 18 by 2, you have 9. We use the 9 to multiply the numbers on top of 2. So we are going to have 9 into bracket 2x plus 1. Then we write our minus. Then we do the same thing for this denominator. We use this 9 to divide 18. That will give us 2. Then the 2 will multiply 3x minus 7. So here we say 2 into brackets. The bracket means multiplication. We have 3x minus 7. We close the bracket. Then lastly, we do the same thing here. 18 divided by 18 will give us 1. So we write our minus 1 into bracket. 1 times 5 will give us, that's what we're going to have here. Okay, now that we've done this, the next thing we're going to do is to open the brackets up there. At the numerator, we are going to open the bracket by using the numbers outside to multiply the numbers inside the bracket. So 9 times 2x will give us 18x, then plus 9 times 1 will give us 9. Then here we have minus what? 2 times 3x will give us 6x. Then take note of this. If the minus is distributed into the bracket, it will turn the signs in the bracket to their opposite. So minus times minus will turn to what? Plus. Then 2 times 7 will give us 14. Then minus 1 times 5 will give us 5. Then the denominator still remains 18. Now we are going to simplify whatsoever numbers that are common here. If you check out what we have here, in this place we have 18x. Then if you check, we have minus 6x. So 18x minus 6x will give us 12x. Then plus 9 plus 14 will give us 23. 23 minus 5 will give us plus 18. Then our 18 at the denominator still remains there. Okay, so that is what we have now. We have 12x plus 18 upon what? Upon 18. Now we are going to factorize. You can also check out our playlist on factorization. You will see how what I'm doing here is explained in details as well. So now the 18 at the denominator still remains there. Then we are going to pull out the common factors between 12 and 18, which in this case is what? Is 6. Then 6 into 12x will give us 2x, then plus. When you divide 18 by 6, that will give us 3. Now, this is what we are going to have. Finally, in the last step, you can see that the 6 here and the 18 here can go each other. That is, 6 can cancel here 1 and go into 18 what? 3 times. So the final answer for this question, you can see that there is no other number other than 1. So we can write this out as 2x plus 3 all divided by what? Divided by 3. So that is the answer to this question. I'm sure you understood clearly how the explanation was given in this lesson. Now that you've done this first question, let's quickly take the second question here. The second question here is gotten from your trigonometrical ratios, and by trigonometrical ratios we are talking about SOHCAHTOA, that is sine, cosine and tangent. Now in this question it says if tan x equals to 1 upon 3, then where 0 degree is less than or equals to x less than or equals to 90 degree, we have to evaluate 2 cos x. Now since you are already aware that we are dealing with trigonometrical ratio, before we do this question, I want to introduce this for you. Okay, since we're having x there, we can say our sine x, the ratio for sine x is opposite upon what? Upon hypotenuse. Then the ratio for cosine x is what? Adjacent upon what? Hypotenuse. Then lastly, the ratio for tan x is what? Opposite upon adjacent. So these are the respective ratios for your sine, cosine and tangent. Now back to the question. As long as you see the range of values 0 degree less than equals to x less than equals to 90 degree, that means the highest value of x must be what? 90 degree. It must not be greater than 90 degree. So this 90 degree means that we are dealing with what? A right triangle. So we are going to draw the right triangle this way. Here is the right triangle. Alright. Okay. Now, what are we doing here? We are told that our tan x is 1 upon 3. And from what we have here, we have to identify the 3 sides of the right triangle. Now, if this is our x, then that will make this place to become the opposite. While this place will become the adjacent, then this length that is opposite 90 degree will become our what? Hypotenuse. So for our tangent that has 1 upon 3, the 1 is the opposite based on what I wrote here, okay? So the 1 is the opposite, the 3 is the what? Adjacent. So we come to where we have the opposite, we put our 1, the adjacent, we put our what? Our 3. We can use Pythagoras theorem therefore to get our hypotenuse. Why are we looking for the hypotenuse? Because our cos x we are looking for, we need the adjacent, we need the hypotenuse. So we know the adjacent as 3, but we do not know the hypotenuse, which is why we need to look for it. So how do we get this hypotenuse? We apply our what? Our Pythagoras theorem in this case. So we can say using Pythagoras. Now in the Pythagoras we take our hypotenuse square, because that's what the Pythagoras rule states, that is square in the hypotenuse will become the square of the opposite, that is 1 squared, plus the square of the adjacent, and that will give us 3 squared. 1 squared means 1 times 1, which is 1. 3 squared means 3 times 3, which is what? 9. So therefore our hypotenuse squared will become 9 plus 1, that will give us what? That will give us 10. Then to remove this square here, we have to take the roots of both sides. And if we take this root of both sides, the root will cancel the square. We will have the hypotenuse therefore to become what? The hypotenuse will become root what? Root 10. So bringing this hypotenuse back to what we have here, you see we are going to have our root what? 10 here. Let us bring all what we are solving up to this place here. Okay. Now we've gotten the hypotenuse. We can now be able to get our cos x. So therefore, our cos x will become adjacent. What is adjacent? 3 upon what? Hypotenuse, which is what? Root 10. And from our studies on SOD, we have to rationalize this. So this will become 3 upon root 10 multiplied by root 10 upon root 10. And in doing this, we're going to have 3 times root 10. That will give us 3 root 10. Then root 10 times root 10 will give us 10. Now, our cos x is what? Is 10. But if you come back to the question, you will see that the question says we should find what? We should find 2 cos x. So you can come here to say, therefore, our 2 cos x means that we are using 2 to multiply the values of cos x. So we say 2 multiplied by cos x. Our cos x from what we have here is 3 root 10 upon root 10. And in the next step, our 2 can cancel. Okay, this place is 10, not root 10. Pardon me for that error. So 2 can cancel this to give us what? 5. So at the numerator, we are having 3 root 10 upon 5. So there you have it. This is now going to be the final answer for this question. I'm sure you will enjoy this lesson. Please make sure you share these videos with your friends. Tell your friends that math problems are being solved in this channel. Let them come in and also learn the way you are learning. Thank you for your time. Stay with me. We are still going to continue in our next lesson with WASSCE 2020 mathematics questions and answers.